Hey y'all, it's Antonopoulos with the Metal Wine Guide. I'm in Austin, Texas at the Infinite Monkey Theorem winery. I'm going to be talking today with a good friend of mine, Johnny Moyer from Disturbed, fellow wino like myself. We're going to be visiting with Ware from the Infinite Monkey Theorem, trying a bunch of wines, talking rock and roll, canned wine industry. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's get to it. Hi y'all, this is Antonopoulos with the Metal Wine Guide, and I am sitting with Ware and one of my oldest friends, Johnny Moyer.
You know it.
Cool. And today we're going to talk about wine and music and how canned wine is becoming a force in the wine industry. So let's start off talking about Infinite Monkey Theorem, where we are in the Austin tap room right here. Infinite Monkey Theorem it's been called like a counterculture winemaker. It's been called the Great American Wine Experiment. And articles I've read said that it was, integrating manufacturing and art and science and all those things. So I want to see if you want to speak to that, and, like the company's founding, the branding, the concept behind everything.
Sure. So Infinite Monkey Theorem, just for those who might not know, is actually a mathematical theorem that if you put a group of monkeys in a room at typewriters for an infinite amount of time, they'll come up with something like a Shakespearean sonnet. So
okay.
It's a chaos theory, so we're making order out of chaos. So our original founder wanted to make wine more approachable and friendly, and living in Colorado, mobile. So, we wanted to take the stuffiness out of wine tasting, the granite, the snootiness, and make it easy to get to. Yeah, easy to get to for people in the city, and maybe people that were new to wine that didn't want to go out to a vineyard, they could come in. And so we bring all our grapes into the city. We started in Denver, Colorado, in the Rhino district, and so we produce and bottle everything from the city.
The grapes, like in the Denver spot, are you getting the grapes locally in Colorado, and then the same thing here in Texas?
Correct, for our bottled wine. Yeah, so all our bottled wine is going to be Texas or Colorado grapes.
So depending on which venue it is, it's a whole different type of wine.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, but yeah, we picked Austin and Denver for those reasons. They're very young cities, they're outdoor cities, lots of music, and it just fit our whole thinking. We're very industrial and counterculture. Right. And these are all local artists too. So in this winery and the one we had over on South Congress, we just let local artists come in and they pick a patch of wall and they paint it. So these are all different artists.
So Infinite Monkey Theorem, their artwork here, which is kind of hard to see, I don't know, we'll get close-ups here, but a guy named Zach Lerner, he's done, record covers for Blink-182 and a couple other bands.
Chester French, then Tom Petty's most recent.
Amazing.
Passed away.
And so that's the graphic artist that actually put, the artwork together. And Infinite Monkey Theorem was one of the first wineries to actually can wine. So, how did that process, how did that end up happening?
Sure. So, since we are in Colorado and it's a super outdoors state, we wanted to make something mobile that was good. Right. And so that's really where it started. We saw the need for something like that in Colorado because it's so like an adventure capital. And then we were probably 10 years ahead of our time. Right. But we just saw the need. We wanted to take good wine with us out hiking and to the beach and on the river and stuff. And so we did that. Yeah. That's great.
But whereas now you can actually, it's becoming fairly ubiquitous. You can find canned wine in music venues sometimes, or you can find them in sporting events. Because not everybody wants to drink beer or ciders or the seltzer things that are popular in a can. So you get all the, you don't need, of course we loved our, bottled wine, but you don't have to have glassware, you don't have to have all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So that's a cool thing. Jumping over to Johnny real quick, we've been friends for, I don't even know.
I was just talking about this since, I think we met in 96.
96.
Yeah. You were playing in a band called Strap.
Yeah.
And I was in one of my early bands, Soak.
Wow.
We were playing on the Dallas
Soak
scene
in Austin.
Yeah. I think you were Yeah, we were young.
We were young. We were playing music, and I was bartending. So hence the whole, this is how this whole music thing came together. And yeah, man, I discovered wine at a pretty young age, as I'm sure Molly did as well. And how was it for you, like nowadays? Johnny plays bass for Disturbed, and
I think, the early days of touring, it was Jägermeister and beer. Wine was just not part of, any of my band's, cup of tea, so to speak. It was just not something we were into. So it wasn't until I got into Disturbed, and I got into Disturbed in 2004, so we're all kind of in our 30s, and, no one's drinking shots of Jaeger anymore so much, well, there were those nights for sure.
Once in a while.
And beer just becomes I just get beard out sometimes. I don't know, something about it. I can only drink so much of it, And then, the guys in Disturbed, David Draymond, the singer, he always had a taste for wine. And then he turned on our drummer, Mikey. And so both of those guys started, really learning their wines. And then it's just sort of the rest of us followed suit. So now, on the rider every night, we usually have a pretty decent bottle of wine or two that's on there. And it's definitely changed, So you see now, there'll be beer on the rider, but no one's even touching the beer anymore.
That's for guests.
Right.
More or less.
Yeah.
That saves all guests.
Yeah. And so, it's interesting, that I've evolved as, over the years as to what I like to drink. And now, as my girlfriend will attest, wine is my mainstay.
Right.
And I'm excited about this, too. I don't think I've ever had canned wine. And you guys have been making it how long?
We've been in business since 2008.
Doing the cans.
2010, we started doing the cans.
Yeah. Like you said, 10 years. It's like, it does seem to be something that's sort of new on the market for someone who's a consumer, even though you guys, like you said, are so far ahead of your timeline.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's when so what are we offering nowadays? And we have many selections here, and I'll just let you speak to it a little bit. There's great reviews from Wine Spectator, and the reception has been phenomenal. So I'll let you kind of take over and see what we're looking at.
Yeah. So I brought pretty much all our varietals in the cans. So we have what everybody wants: red, white, rosé, sparkling rosé, and the sparkling brut.
Oh, cool.
So, the varietals have changed over time. Just we find what works better. But currently in our offerings, we have our Chardonnay, 100% stainless steel, is in our white can.
Okay.
And our rosé is going to be one of your traditional rosé grapes, a Syrah.
Okay.
And that's actually in both the still and the sparkling rosé. Our red is going to be a blend of Cab Syrah.
Oh, cool.
Now, the interesting thing about that is I know that sounds like a heavy blend because those are typically known as more full-bodied grapes, but it's actually really quite nice. It's medium bodied, it's super smooth, easy to drink. I recommend drinking it slightly chilled, just like I recommend drinking any red wine slightly chilled.
Right.
And then our sparkling brut is going to be a sparkling dry Riesling. So
Interesting.
Yeah, so dry Riesling is how it is. It's dry. It's not going to be sweet like a sweet Riesling. So.
But for those summer days when you're
perfect.
tailgating at the Cowboys game, or the Cowboys.
Hey, we're in the same boat, pal. This is a nightmare for us.
That's
we don't even need to go down this road.
But you know what?
We're more like drown our sorrows over the Cowboys. Not
there you go.
Exactly. Tailgating cans. But you know what? That sounds. I'm really anxious to try this red though, because that's just such an interesting.
Yeah. Let's open it.
I'll let you take over.
Yeah. There you go. Cheers.
Wow. Cool. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Cheers, you guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for having us. Good to see you again.
Yeah, that's great. That's I thought it was gonna be kind of tart. It's not.
No.
What do you normally like to drink?
I like the reds a lot. The red blends like St. Helena, Napa Valley type of red blends, and cabs are always a great go-to. They're super solid, and this is a blend of two of my favorite grapes. This tastes great. It's not, the concern I guess with canned wine or these younger varietals is that it's going to be bitter, or it's not going to have depth in the flavor like what you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Or I found, maybe that's not the right term, but vinegary. It has kind of this aftertaste. I'm not really getting that from this.
It's pretty tasty, actually.
Yeah, I would I'd put that in my backpack and go hiking for sure. Yep, I see it. Yeah.
And you don't need glassware. We don't need openers, and
I know. The whole idea behind it, and for sporting events, for being a musician,
of course,
like Seven here, glass at these kind of venues is not allowed. So your choices are. If they even have wine at like the theater or a place like that, it's a bottle that's kind of halfway down. You don't know if it's from yesterday or 2 days ago, and that happens. And this is nice because you're getting a consistent, fresh one
as soon as you
every time. And I think this could really help. People get tired of drinking the beers and the seltzers and stuff like that. And but you don't necessarily want to have a separate glass or drinking out of a plastic cup. It's nice having just the can on your own. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see this really doing well in our line of work.
You will find some canned wine that is really hard to drink. It's just not good.
It has that acidity sometimes.
Yeah.
It has like this
Kind of a vinegar overtone sometimes.
Well, that and it just for me, a lot of times people have these preconceived ideas that a wine like this is going to lack complexity, lack depth, all those kinds of things that we attribute to aged bottles.
Sure.
But of course, you're not going to age a canned wine.
No.
So
it's not recommended.
Yeah. So from a winemaking perspective, these are fairly young wines, and you want to drink them fairly quick. So what we've poured up here is the Bubble Universe Riesling, and I'm pretty excited to try it.
Yeah.
Bubble Universe.
Bubble Universe. Yeah.
Okay.
There's the can. You guys can check this out.
It's the way we decipher between our sparkling and our stills.
So this would be the sparkling.
Sparkling, yeah.
Bubble
So
Universe.
any of the cans with the bubbles are going to be sparkling, and it's light effervescence. It's not going to be like a heavy prosecco or cava, like that type of bubble.
Exactly, and not sweet like that.
Right. It's a dry Riesling.
It's super dry.
Yeah, and this one is perfect for mimosas too.
Wow, that is so good.
That's a summertime drink.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really dry. I like that. I prefer that. I'm not into the sweets. That's fantastic.
Same. Yeah.
Because if you're drinking white,
and that's rare. I'm not really much of a white wine drinker, but I would definitely drink this.
What we've been doing this year is figuring out the varietals that work really well for us and really focusing on those and pushing those. And we do have a keg. We have a sparkling keg that is going to be the same thing.
A keg of wine?
Yeah.
The sparkling.
Yeah.
That's epic. Okay, and what's the size of that?
It's 19.5 liters. And so it's sold in restaurants, and it does
Dude, seriously?
really well for us.
That's for that wine on tap, right?
Yeah,
That's so rock and roll.
So what chains are carrying the canned wine and y'all's brand right now?
It's a lot of restaurants. We are in Tupelo Honey, which is a national chain. We're in what is it, Biscuit and Bar, I think, in Dallas, up in your area.
Oh yeah.
Brunch place. Chains, we're in HEB. Gotta love HEB. Yeah, in Texas. We're in HEB. Okay. We're in Buc-ee's, Specs and Total Wine.
Buc-ee's. Gotta love Buc-ee's.
So those big chains. And then a lot of restaurants, since we're here in Austin, a lot of local restaurants here were carrying us. A lot of places on Rainy Street. Some breweries, Nomadic Brewery just picked us up.
So do you guys ship nationally, or we just heard a few of the locations.
Sure.
But how would somebody find?
Yeah. If you're not in Austin, or I'm sorry, in Texas or Colorado, we do ship. So you can go to theinfinitemonkeytheorem.com.
Awesome.
And
you see
can
the
buy
graphic right there?
Yeah.
It's gonna be right here.
Right there. No.
Right.
Yes, and we'll get the wine shipped to you.
Okay, perfect. So I've been with it's funny, Jack here and Lucy, Molly Ware from the Infinite Monkey Theorem, and one of my best friends in life, Johnny Moyer from the Stir.
See, you can call me anytime. You don't have to coax me out with wine, but I'll take it. It's a bonus for sure, pal.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I can't thank you enough for having us.
No, thank you.
And it's theinfinitemonkeytheorem.com. If you guys have any questions, this is the Metal Wine Guide. And thanks again. Appreciate it, you guys.